biting Chicago wind whipped around Petros' threadbare coat as he stared at the gray expanse of Lake Michigan. He dreamt of Chicago, a city of opportunity whispered about in hushed tones in his village back in Greece. The letters from his uncle Nico painted a picture of bustling streets paved with gold. A far cry from the parched earth and dwindling harvests that had driven him from his ancestral home. He clutched a worn and tattered valise containing everything that he owned. The promise of a better future felt like a flickering candle against the relentless Chicago wind. He'd left behind not just home, but the warm embrace of his faith, the inspiration from the church that he was baptized in, and the graves of his ancestors. Uncle Nico greeted Petros with a forced cheer. The warmth in his eyes belied by the lines etched deep into his face. He knew the stories, the unspoken heartbreak behind the hopeful faces of newly arrived immigrants. He'd seen the dreams crumble, the aspirations wither under the weight of hardship. He'd witnessed the slow, agonizing death of hope in the eyes of men who traded the warmth of the Mediterranean sun for the unforgiving chill of the Midwest. Petros reached into his valise and took out a leather-bound wooden cross, a relic from his ancient village church, a silent acknowledgement of the shared loss and the enduring faith that would help them navigate the strangeness of America. He handed the cross to his uncle. It was a tangible connection to their homeland, a blessing from the family that they had hoped they would see again someday. Years later, Nico stood before a gray granite headstone in a Chicago cemetery. Nico crossed himself, put his head against the top of the headstone, and thought about his nephew. He thought about the boy's family, the family that sent him to America and the dreams they had for their son. The wind howled a mournful dirge, mirroring the unspoken lament for a life cut short, a dream unfulfilled. Nico, his own hair now white, gazed at the cold stone, a silent farewell to another soul lost to the relentless pursuit of a better life. The gold-paved streets of Chicago remained a mirage for most. The bodies of previous immigrants now buried in this cold, unforgiving land bore witness to the bittersweet saga of those who left behind their paradise in search of a future that for many never came.
There were a myriad of reasons why the Greeks came to Chicago by the hundreds of thousands in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The reasons varied from person to person. There was one important thing that all the Greeks who came here had in common. They were all Orthodox Christians. They came here with only the clothes on their backs and maybe a photo of their loved ones in their pockets, and the scent of their village still stuck in their nostrils, a scent that was quickly replaced by the stink of horse manure and the stench of massive stockyards, but their faith never left them. These poverty-stricken Greeks worked 18 hours a day, 6 or 7 days a week, in those stockyards and on the docks of this huge frozen lake. With the first 2 nickels they could rub together, they built a church, and then another church, and then another. Many Greeks did make their American dream come true. They made a good life in Chicago until they would also be buried here. Follow me as I will visit each one of those churches, or at least the place where those churches once stood, and discover what happened to them. Many of those first Greek immigrants were the children and grandchildren of the new martyrs of the Turkish yoke. They preferred death to conversion to Islam or any other kind of apostasy. But here in America, in the land of the free and in the home of the brave, there was no fear of religious persecution. Did the children and grandchildren of these martyric Christians preserve the ancient faith that was bestowed upon them through blood and toil? We shall see.